Welcome, my beautiful, handsome Tauruses. This is your September 2023 reading. This is going to be for Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Some of you are intuitively guided. I'm trying not to say and then I say it. Anyway, some of you are intuitively guided, and I thank you for paying attention to your intuition. You may be in love with the Taurus, so you may be here like checking up on their energy, and if that's the case, know that your guides know that, so you'll probably receive messages also. And you can certainly have planets in the sign of Taurus, whatever brought you. Welcome, guys. You know, your reading for last month for August really stands out to me. You had one of those type of readings where I felt like there was so much change. I feel like you've had like a string of, almost like a black cloud had been following you, and I feel like it's finally lifting, and that's really good news. So what I decided to do is use the same decks of cards, well, not all of them. I decided to use the Psychic Tarot again for your main spread. That's what we used last month. But I'm going to use a different clarifier. I'm going to use the Gilded Tarot to clarify with them, or to go deeper. And, of course, we're going to start with Mother Mary for our words of wisdom. So let's go ahead and get into your reading. You know, I think if you didn't watch your reading last month, take a look at it. It might be, it might definitely interest you. I think I titled it The Beginning of Everything. The Beginning of Everything. That was the thumbnail. I'm not sure what the title was. Anyways, now we're looking at September. And of course, time is fluid, so September on. But, you know, just keep in the back of your mind, sometimes you're guided to a reading and maybe you didn't even notice like the timestamp or the month that it was, the year that it was, but you watch it and it's like it's exactly what you needed to hear at that moment. Well, that's how spirit works. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you'll be guided to a reading, or a reading will find you in divine timing right when you need it. So let's go ahead and begin. Give Mother Mary a cut. And let's go ahead. Okay, well, that didn't take long. We have marriage. Interesting. I'm trying to remember. That's the one thing I don't remember. What was Mother Mary's message to you? But marriage. I make a commitment to a healthy relationship with God, myself, and my partner. Now, some of you are here and you're like, well, wait a minute, Sandy, I'm not married. Well, this really talks about, and I'm going to read it from the book at the end, and it does cover people who are not married. And it does talk about the potential of a new relationship coming in, like someone that you would want to make that commitment. Maybe not marriage, you know, maybe that's where it ends up. But I do feel like it's about, if I'm single, it's about the potential of, you know, I always say who's coming in, but, you know, really what it is you're meeting each other on your path. You know, it's when two vibrations are equal. You know, if someone is in a lower vibration and you're in a higher vibration, well, it doesn't mean you won't meet, but those, what's the energy, those difficult type of energies will be there. Like the red flags will be there. It is up to us to pay attention to those flags, right? That comes through our intuition, trusting our intuition. All right, I don't know why I just gave you that little speech, but anyways, we start with marriage. And again, I'll read it from the book at the end. It's just where it's most profound. All right, let's go ahead and give the Psychic Tarot a few shuffles. Everything's pre-shuffled, but I do like to shuffle with you here. Okay, let's give them a cut. And we are going to shuffle for your cards. All right. Let's begin. Taurus. Well, I was just going to say that a lot of times you can really count on a Taurus. I know some people may be here like in a relationship with a Taurus being like, well, that's not true, Sandy. Well, it depends where their vibration is, but, I feel that a lot of times you can count on a Taurus. Okay, we open your reading with light. Beautiful. This is the sun. This is illumination. This is a brand new day. The sun will come out tomorrow. Some of you, I feel like, hang in there. Hang in there. The sun will come out tomorrow. Card of Leo. I don't know if I said that. Ruler of Leo, actually. Card of Leo, but ruler of Leo. And, as your first card, I feel like no matter what follows, this is saying that you're going to have clarity. Like, even if it's something difficult, you're going to see it, you're going to know it, and then you can act accordingly. When we're in the dark, it's a little harder to trust our intuition, so to speak. But let's see. Let's keep going. All right, all face up. We have solitude. It's the Hermit. Card of Virgo. We have stand your ground. It's a 7 of Wands. And then we have suffering in silence, which is the 9 of Swords. All right, first let me bring the lid down. Make sure you can see these. All right, I don't love that the 9 of Swords is here, to be honest with you. But truth be told, the 9 of Swords is about unnecessary worry. But it is worry. Like it's where I can get in my head. Sometimes I feel like it's the energy of overthinking something. But solitude being here, and especially with the light, the sun being right here. And the sun is mirroring this 9 of Swords, so it definitely means that you want to look at that energy. What is it that I'm worrying about? Why am I worrying about it? Is it based on the past, and is it energy that I can let go of, clear? I feel like if the 9 of Swords is not dealt with, then it is going to show itself somehow, some way through the body. It can be through your own actions, like, where I speak, and I don't mean to say the things that I say, but it's coming from a place of fear. I love that the Hermit is also here, like 2 9s, right? So the Hermit is really taking that deep dive into your thought process. Why? I feel like that's really the question. Like, why do I go there? The 9 of Swords is about unnecessary worry. We don't want to forget that, right? It is worry. And it can be extreme worry. But there's some things that I'm worrying about that really I feel like I can let go of. Solitude can certainly talk about going through that dark night of the soul. But listen, I feel like, when we go through these difficult times, there's some great lessons to be learned in that energy. And I feel like a lot of us as souls, we didn't come down here and say, give me an easy peasy life. No, I want to learn, right? I want to expand. I want to grow. I want to become the master teacher. I want to help teach others who have going through similar situations. Taurus, you're great for that. You really are. I mean, like being the master teacher. And that doesn't mean that you're a teacher. I mean, some of you may be. Because I feel like sometimes I don't even know that I'm helping people. Anyways, I feel like the sun is lighting or illuminating your spiritual journey. And I also feel sometimes I got to remember that I am a spiritual being having human experiences. Spiritual being having human experiences. That means there's nothing that I'm going through that I, as a spirit, have not gone through before. 7 of Wands right here. Stand your ground. You know, sometimes it can be defensive type energies, like where I'm fighting off attacks after attacks. But sometimes I figure out why. Well, we'll figure that out as we go along. You have Leo and Virgo side by side. Neighbors. All of a sudden, my left ear is ringing. And I don't know, I always grew up with the saying, if your ears are ringing, left is for love, right is for spite. So my left ear, I mean, it's really ringing. Deception and envy. You know, first of all, I want to say it's coming under the sun. So whatever done in the dark will come to the light. No doubt. I feel like this is past energy, because I feel like this is saying, you know, someone may have sent you through that dark night of the soul because they weren't honest with you, because, you know, they did something deceptive to you. But, you know, if you look at just what the card says, deception, yes, but envy. So a lot of times this deception comes out of the energy of envy. I wish I was like you. You know, I want to be like you, and because I can't, I want to destroy you. That was a little bit of a I don't know if I should have said destroyed. You know, and I also feel like instead of being in the Nine of Swords energy, if I'm worried about anyone being deceptive towards me, the sun is going to very quickly illuminate that for you. You know, I feel like for some of you, it's like, I don't want to backtrack, right? Like, I don't want to go back. I want to go forward. Well, to do that, you may have to let go of this energy. And I know that's easier said than done, but maybe it is necessary. Solitude or the hermit. You know, it's like she's reading from the book of life. It's like she's reading her own Akashic records. I've been here before. I've dealt with this before. Everything's being illuminated to me. So what do? Do I follow my instinct? Two 7s and 2 9s on the board. Actually, there's another 9 in 19. It's like a full house. Alright, let's keep going. Oh. Crazy. Crazy for loving. Alright, we have shadow. This is the moon. Card of Pisces. Ruler of Cancer. We have the sun and the moon. The moon can be uncertainty. You know, I love the moon in this card because I feel like this is someone who, especially coming under the hermit, it's like I'm looking at the dark side of myself, right? Because we have to remember that we're both light and dark. We're both masculine and feminine, right? We're polar opposites. I feel like the ticket to life is learning how to balance it all. The hermit will definitely learn that, because the hermit realizes that, you know, I'm seeking the light, and the hermit finds the light, but really what the hermit realizes is I am the light. And that means many times, like, you know, if I'm looking for someone else to help save my life, this is saying you can save your own. Anyways, but this person looking right at their shadow self. So, this can mean uncertainty, but it's also going to be a very dreamy type energy. We have foundation and achievements. It's like someone's protecting their home, their money, their foundation. I have to say, I feel like with the Hermit and the Sun as your very first two cards, I feel like you've come a long way, and you don't want to allow anyone else to, again, I'm getting that word destroy it. I don't know why I'm getting that. To me, it feels harsh by saying destroy. But I feel that, like I've worked too hard and too long to build up my own foundation. I'll be damned if I'm going to let someone come in and try to take it from me. Beautiful spiritual strength. Another 9. So you have 3 9s. Nines talk about reflection, but 9s speak about final reflection. So it's not an energy I'm meant to stay in forever, right? I do want to reflect as the Hermit. I feel like the Hermit is really seeking spiritual answers on this earthly plane. Like, Spirit, help me get through these earthly experiences and allow me to do it in the light, right? Allow me to do it, because you have the moon below, you have the light beside the Hermit, but then you have spiritual strength here. And I love this image because I feel like this is your spiritual team showing you the protection they have over you. They can't, your spiritual team can't, they can certainly send you flags, right? Send you messages and all that. But again, the human mind needs to recognize that. But I feel like, again, this is protection. Like, you've been protected. And sometimes that means, because this spiritual strength is mirroring deception and envy. So sometimes I do have to look at the people that I've surrounded myself with, whether it be one person or a group of people. Can even be who I work with, all that type of energy. Just lower vibrational energy, no doubt. Because again, their envy causes them to be deceptive. Take what doesn't belong to them. I almost feel like that was an old lesson. And because I feel the strength of foundation and achievements, I feel it as in, like, I'm not going to let someone take this from me, take what I have built or what I am building, away from me. When you think about your own foundation, and the stronger that foundation, think about a house. If you build a house on sand, it's going to sink, right? You want to think about that foundation. All right, let's move these up a little bit. So, 9s, final reflection. That means certain doors may be ready to close. I hope one of them is the 9 of Swords. Again, the light seems to be here to help you with that. All right, let's keep going. All right. Well, firm foundation. Eight of Swords. Look at this. Ace of Pentacles. What's it say there? Prosperity begins. Some of you may be starting to reap the benefits of your hard work. The fruits of your labor. Ace of Pentacles is something that comes into your physical world. Not an energy. It literally comes into your physical world. It is meant to make a pretty major difference in your life if I accept this ace. If I take this ace. Right? Maybe I've had these aces before, but someone would take them. Well, not anymore. Eight of Swords, self-created prison. And because it's self-created, I'm the only one who can uncreate it. Just means I need to free myself. What's it talking about? Well, we have the 7 of swords, the 8 of swords, and the 9 of swords. So, some of you, it's just like you're having a hard time trusting again. Now, probably not the same person, or if it is the same person, I understand that. But if this is talking about someone of the past who, was untrustworthy, again, easier said than done, but you do have to learn to let it go. Because, again, the sun is helping to illuminate everything. And that means the hardships and the experiences, the deception, and what has caused it. Well, I feel like envy. Maybe someone's envy of the money you can make. How you can take this ace and you can make it the 10 of Pentacles. But you got to believe in yourself. I don't love that the 8 of Swords is coming right before the Ace of Pentacles. But I feel like the saving grace here is the sun and spiritual strength. Hello, material and spiritual prosperity. Let me read that again. Material, Ace of Pentacles, and spiritual, the Hermit, spiritual strength, and the Sun, prosperity. Why? Well, you must have broken yourself free from this prison. You must have taken the power away from those who were untrustworthy anyways. You're definitely seeing that some of this energy is coming. You know what I feel? I know some of you are dealing like with a narcissist. I know that came up in your last reading. And they do work from the energy of envy. It's almost like, why are you receiving this Ace of Pentacles? I want it. It should be for me, right? It is their envy, right? But they're not willing to do the work. They're not willing to put in the effort. I feel like you are not letting someone knock you off your foundation again. So I love that the Ace of Pentacles brings out material and spiritual prosperity. Prosperity is right on the Ace of Pentacles. Spiritual is right above it. So both words are connected to it. Alright, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Patience and planning. This is the 7 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles does speak about patience. Moving at the right time. What's under that? Love begins. Interesting. Passion ignited. 2 aces under that. Recognition and reward. So, the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and then the 7 of Pentacles. It's almost like they're hidden. I have a feeling they're going to come out, though. I just have a feeling they're going to come out. So I feel like the patience may be over love. Patience may be over action. Sometimes I want to know when to take the next step. But I also feel in the 7 of Pentacles, it's about your soul seed of intentions, right? Some of these seeds were already planted before you came to Earth. Like, they're your seeds. And some seeds you have planted earlier. It's patience allowing them to come to fruition, right? It's like planting putting what do I want to say? Like seeds in the ground. And I can't expect them to sprout overnight. right? I have to have patience. I got to tend to my garden. I got to water it. I got to make sure it's getting sun, which it is. And I feel like all good things in their time. All right, let's bring in the Gilded Tarot. So I'm definitely going to be looking for those aces. Not the good tarot, the Gilded Tarot. So, quite a few nines. It tells me that there are doors that are closing, but I feel like the doors that are closing are good doors. You know, I feel like you've been reflecting, and I feel like you're finding your answers. You're finding your way, even if it's just minute answers, you know, it's just like one step at a time, but eventually you end up right where, well, I was going to say right where you want to be, but maybe better than what you thought could be. Alright, so we're going to start at the top, but we're reading as a whole. So we're looking at the Sun, the Hermit, Stand Your Ground, interesting, Suffering in Silence. We have the Chariot, but the Chariot came in reverse. Now, you know, I tell myself in the beginning of a reading whether I'm going to accept reversals or not. It's like I talk to my guides, like I don't want to do reversals today. I want to keep them in the upright. But one of the rules I have is if they come face up and they're in reverse, then I feel like that's the way they're meant to be. Now, this doesn't have to be a big deal. And I'm saying that because I see the Hangman in reverse also, and that's a good thing. That's an awakening, especially coming over the Hermit. But let's talk about the Chariot first. So the Chariot, card of Cancer, we're in the year of the Chariot, by the way. You know, it's funny because I had like someone left a comment, and I'm not complaining because I love your comments. You know, I want your truth. And they said, you know, keep hearing about love, but love's not coming. Well, the year's not over. And I'm saying that because we're in the year of the Chariot. But it could talk about something where movement is not yet, right? It's like it's not time to move yet. The Chariot, why would it not be time? Well, probably because of the Nine of Swords. Again, if I don't look at that worry, like, or where my head goes, or if I overthink things, well, then I probably won't be able to handle the Chariot and all the glory it could be. Because in the upright, I feel like the Chariot's a reward. Why? Because I feel like you found balance, or you're balancing your life. Just like the moon, where I felt like that, you know, the light side was looking right at the dark, right at the shadow side, not in fear, but in recognition. Probably taking control over it also. So I feel like this is not bad news. This is good news. It's just saying not everything is meant to happen immediately. Some of you could very well be on your way to having this awakening. You know, maybe you're not quite there yet. Some of you probably are. I know some of you are. But some may be like, that's the direction you're heading. Especially over the Hermit. I love that. It's like if you're asking your guides questions, you know, asking for signs, oh, they're going to give them to you. They're going to give them to you. I feel like once I get to the place of an awakening, I never go back, right? I get to the place of a higher vibration, because remember, where our vibration is at is what is going to vibrate back to us. The universe, let's just say, isn't saying, okay, well, she's putting out lower vibration energy, so let's bring her something higher. No, it's like it has to match what you put out. Think of energy. You know, think of you as being energy. So, as you move towards higher vibration, well, that's what's going to meet you. So I feel like the Chariot, you know, again, it's not in movement yet, but with the Nine of Swords there, like, it wouldn't serve me to be in movement yet. It's almost like I feel like I would wreck that Chariot. Let's keep going. If we pull those two sevens together, deception and envy, and stand your ground. It's like if someone is being untrustworthy, someone is taking from you. Like, again, the thief in the night. Your spiritual team, you know, they're highlighting them. It's like they see it, and now they're going to allow you to see it. And then you can act accordingly. You know, because ultimately it's up to you. Free will. Free will. Look at this, the Five of Swords. Standing your ground over the Five of Swords. So, that means that there is toxic energy, or there was toxic energy around you. And, it's a 5, so it asks for change. Yes, stand your ground, definitely. But at the same time, I gotta know if it's even worth it. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I feel like, again, let's use like a narcissist as an example. You know, I'm not gonna sit there and waste 7 years of my life trying to change them, because I'll waste the next 7 years and the next 7 years after that. They have to change themselves. And I feel like a narcissist very, very seldom changes. I'm not going to say that it can't happen, because it can. However, I feel like I'm not going to stick around and wait. So, and I feel like that's why I felt with stand your ground, like, how long do I want to stand my ground though? You know what I mean? Like, defending off attacks. Well, how long do I want to do that? Because what energy does it create? The Nine of Swords. So this is some type of toxic energy. Though 5 gives you an opportunity to change that, which I feel like really what it means is I gotta leave it. Now, I don't know if that means physically or mentally, spiritually, or all of the above. It's like someone seems to be taking all the swords for themselves. We have the Page of Wands. I call the Page of Wands my Fool. This is someone who takes a lot of chances in life, and you know, as a page, I feel like, you know, I think about it later. So I may have taken some chances that didn't work out. Maybe I took a chance with someone who turned out to be not the greatest. So what am I going to do about that? Well, the page would get back up and keep on moving. You know, I feel like that's part of the page's lesson in life. It's not about not taking chances. It's about knowing as soon as I can, like, what's good for me and what's not good for me. Who's trustworthy, who's not trustworthy. I feel like someone may have just ended up with someone, or ended up in a situation that may have been like free will, but I feel like you're now having the realization that their energy, it's only bringing you down. And I feel like once we really learn and understand like who we are, and remember that we're spiritual beings, you know, it's the refusal to allow someone to demand that you lower your vibration to be with them. Or let me put it another way. It's you demanding that if someone wants to be with me, in whatever facet that may be, that their vibration has to match mine. I feel like for a while, I've been matching yours, them, but now, I'm done. Alright, look at this, 4 of Cups. 4 of Cups talks about discontentment, boredom in one's own life. But what I worry about in the 4 of Cups is, am I going to do anything about it? You know, it's almost like, well, I'm just kind of stuck here. But you're never really stuck. There's always a way. And I know some people are like, you say that, Sandy. Listen, I've had many difficult situations where, yeah, I did feel stuck until I found my way. But I did find my way. 4 Cups says, as it relates to anything, you know, first of all, here's a cup that's coming in. So maybe we're getting closer to that Ace of Cups. But here is a cup, and I often feel this cup is being handed to you from the hand of God. Now I need to use my spiritual discernment relating as to whether I want to accept it or not. I feel like this is why I've gone through these lessons. You know, if I'm able to look back and see that, you know, maybe I tried to change certain, you know, sometimes we want to love someone and we think our love is going to change them, but it's up to them to change themselves. And, you know, how long are you going to give someone? Now, I'm not saying, because we do have marriage, I'm not saying that relationships cannot be saved. What I'm saying is it takes 2 people. 4 of Cups. Discontentment. Makes sense. Coming over the 7 of Swords. 4 of Pentacles. So now you have 3 4s. 3 9s, 3 4s. I would definitely look those up. Because I feel like when numbers come in 3s, it's a message from your guides or your angels, however you want to put it. You know, I feel like your spiritual team that was assigned to you when you came into this lifetime. So, what did I just say? 4s and 9s so far. 4 of Pentacles coming over shadow. The Moon. You know, the 4 of Pentacles is in the upright, and it does speak about the building of your foundation. Again, I feel like that's an important element in this reading. The only thing I got to worry about, or I shouldn't say worry, the only thing that can be of a negative nature, let's say in the 4 of Pentacles, is hanging on to like, it's got to be my way type of energy. Now, that may have been someone else's energy. Oh, by the way, I just realized 2 4s are next to each other with the 4 right there. 4 4s. Definitely you want to look that up. Maybe I'll look it up before I let you go. Page of Pentacles. You know, I feel like Page of Pentacles, first of all, it can talk about, like, maybe I do want to leave a situation. Maybe I do feel stuck. This can talk about, like, higher education. You know, taking that class that you've been wanting to take. I feel like there may be someone who's, like, 1 class away from a degree. Go take that class. This talks about, really, a path of building up. Can be your career, but it's also a path of knowledge. Again, a page. We have 2 pages now. Coming of foundation and achievements. Some of you, maybe you just received a degree. Three Swords over spiritual strength. Three Swords is mirroring the Four of Cups. Discontentment. But it's also coming over deception and envy. So I can see where someone has taken you. Someone's taken your energy, right? It's almost like, like I give my heart to someone and then they try to destroy it. Or maybe I feel like they did destroy it, but they didn't destroy it, because you can always heal that heart, especially coming over spiritual strength. I feel like your guides want you to understand that they know what you're going through. And they do try to help. They do try to send signs, but it does take our physical action. Like in the Four of Cups, use your spiritual discernment relating to anything. Let's just say new that may be coming in. I feel like there's someone who may be stuck in a situation because maybe they don't have a car. Can you take the bus? And I don't mean that rudely. I just mean, again, I feel like, and I say this from experience, I do feel like there's always a way. My last reading, I was speaking about someone I had been with after I got divorced who turned out to be very abusive, but my vibration was very low at the time. Like, I did not know my worth. I was broken down, and lo and behold, who's the first person that I attracted to my life after that? An abuser. And it took me 5 years to get out of it, but I did get out of it. And it was my action. You know what I mean? Like, no one came in and saved me, even though I had wished for that. I had to save myself. Took me 5 years. But now, I don't even know how many years ago that was. That was like back in the 80s. Now, I live such a different life. Like, if someone abusive came towards me now, I would know it. Like, I would know their energy. Like, I can feel energy. And so can you, by the way. Alright, anyways. I feel like your guides just want you to understand that. And by the way, sometimes we do make free will decisions that get us in a little bit of trouble. And that's okay. It just becomes a lesson. And then that lesson is learned. And once that lesson is learned, chances of repeating that same lesson are very slim. It's funny how a lot of your cards are coming face up. Alright, we have the Seven of Cups. I get that. It's trying to make a decision. It's trying to choose a cup. But, it's probably a little confusing. Especially with the Four of Cups above it. Like, this person in the Four of Cups is being handed a cup. Their hands aren't, like, they're not reaching out for it. They're not reaching out like, okay, I'm going to take it. They're just looking at it. Maybe they're examining it. Nonetheless, it shows up. I don't feel like it's from the person who's being deceptive. Because again, what's mirroring it is your spiritual strength, and I feel like it's your spiritual team who's helping you. So, here's the cup. This card asks you to use your spiritual discernment. But that doesn't always mean it's easy. Like in the Seven of Cups, I want to choose a cup. I want to take that cup. But how do I know that cup won't just stab me in the back? Well, that's why you want to take a moment. You want to learn about what, you want to understand energy. You want to understand that if you've been trying to change someone and it's not working, stop trying to change them and change your own life. You know what I mean? Like, And by the way, I feel like as our vibration gets higher and higher, those with the lower vibration are going to fall away. But we gotta let them. And it can feel a little painful sometimes. But down the road, you'll be like, thank God. Thank God I did that. I feel like what you're saying is anyone is coming towards me, I want them to, what I truly want is someone who's going to help me, who must first have their own strong foundation, right? They must have also worked on their own foundation, probably separate of yourselves. And I feel like that's a requirement. Like if you're coming in and again, your house is built on sand, no thank you. I've been there, done that. The Magician. Over the Eight of Swords. I even forgot the Eight of Swords is here. That self-created prison. The Magician is the manifester. The Magician is mirroring the Hangman in the awakened state. I do feel like we have to realize that we can change our lives if we're unsatisfied. Ask for spiritual help, but then take the physical movements that it needs, right? As these aces come towards you, accept them. But then understand it's up to you what you're going to do with them, right? And just because an ace comes towards you, which we have next, doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to accept it. But I feel like with the Magician here, you do. The Magician can be a little bit of a trickster. But I'm not really reading him this way, him or her. Only because the Hangman's in the awakened state. We have the Two Swords over the Ace of Pentacles. It's like, do I deserve that ace? Yes. Yes. Should I take that opportunity? Yes. Yes. Two Swords means you have a blindfold on. It's just something you don't want to face. And it could literally be that I don't want to say out loud that certain people really are toxic. Certain people just carry that toxic energy. And it's like, I don't want to say it out loud because then it makes it true. And once it makes it true, I know that then it's up to me to do something about it, whether I stay or I go type of energy. Rip that blindfold off. A blindfold doesn't serve you. It just stops you from seeing the truth. Even though I feel like your guides are still going to reach you. Now, the good news is, we have the 7, the 8, the 9, even the 5 of Swords. So I like that it's come down to a 2. It is about a new opportunity, the next chapter, a new path. And I can understand fear, any kind of change can be fearful. Even change that we want. But I often feel in the Two of Swords, it's not nearly as hard or bad as I thought. Justice. Some of you are divorcing someone. Interesting, we do have marriage. But if the person in this marriage, and again, it doesn't necessarily have to be marriage, it's what's supposed to be a committed relationship. But with the 7 of Swords here, for some of you, not all of you, of course, because I often feel there are relationships that can be saved. But this one, I don't know. I'm not going to say it can't, but I feel like there's a lot of issues. Justice, first of all, is a card of Libra. Justice is about making you whole again. And I kind of feel like that's really what it's talking about. I'm starting to really understand why the Chariot's in reverse, because of the 3 of Swords, the 5 of Swords, the 7 of Swords, And even the Eight of Swords, probably the most important one, that self-created prison. Discontentment. Do I take that cup as being offered? I feel like if you say yes, and I don't feel like it's coming from this Seven of Swords energy, if I accept that cup, I feel like that Chariot's going to turn around. Because justice really comes out in your favor. It's in the upright. And it's coming over material and spiritual prosperity. You know, if this is speaking about a divorce and you're worried about, you know, the money factor, let's say, well, this kind of feels like, I'm not going to say you don't, like, take a hit at all, but, you know, the scale is balanced. Some of you may live in a state where it's a 50-50 split and there's nothing you can do about that. But listen, your sanity is on the line. And then look at this, the Nine of Wands. The Knight of Wands, I'm sorry. Wow. I feel like, mirrored by the Seven of Cups, like, I feel like if, and this Four of Cups again, receiving that cup, I take that cup, then I feel like I run with it. There are definitely some hard lessons here. A lot of them feel like they're due to other people or a particular person. And I feel like this is really about reclaiming your life, reclaiming your purpose. Some of these experiences I do feel like you were meant to have. Why? Because you can handle them. And I feel like what you do is eventually help others to overcome what you've overcome. Just like what I do with tarot. You know, like, there's many times I see, like, parts of my life in a reading. And, you know, I've had to overcome them. I didn't have to. But I didn't want to stay. Knight of Wands. Passionate. Fast-moving. Action-oriented. I feel like if anyone's cutting ties with someone, everything starts moving very quickly after that. It's like, just give me my money and I'm out of here. Give me my 50% and I'm gone. You know, like, I've given you enough of my time, my energy, my heart. And what did you do with it? You put dagger after dagger in it. Lie after lie. Sleepless nights you've caused me. Worry. To the point of almost too much. I'm saying almost too much because, again, I feel like you can save yourself from this energy. It all starts with you taking a good, hard look at your life. You know, I feel like the Hermit's energy is so important here. Because this is someone who, you know, goes through the dark night of the soul. Sometimes I ask to go through it, right? Like I feel like some of us are like, that's what our spirit wanted. Like, yeah, I'll go through that dark night of the soul and I'll find that light. I'm going to save myself. Okay, I feel like this was a little difficult. I was expecting much lighter. So I feel like what I want to do, even though you do have the Ace, I mean, you have beautiful cards, don't get me wrong. But I feel like there's just one energy that is having an effect in your life. And for some of you, it feels like it was free will. You know, and maybe what you need to do is just forgive yourself. Maybe it's not even forgiving the other person, you know, which would help in your energetic levels. Doesn't mean I call them up or I say, I forgive you. Maybe you do. I forgive you. I don't condone the act. I don't forgive what you've done. But I forgive, but I'm moving on. But for some of you, I feel like you're judging yourselves and you're putting yourselves down because you're saying, look what I did to myself. Well, maybe there are some tremendous lessons that will, once you move out of that energy, I feel like will completely change your life. Don't forget, prosperity begins. The Ace of Pentacles is here. The Magician is here. The Magician will take that ace and create magic with it. Alright, but I feel like I want to pick this up. This is like second or third time I've done this month. Don't forget, the Hangman is in the awakened state. That means, you know, sometimes it's like, I know what I know, and damn it, now that I know it, I have to take action, right? Because if I don't take action, now I know that I'm going to be stuck. You know, sometimes I don't want to be awakened, but being awakened is exactly what I need. You guys know when I say me, I mean you. I'm just literally taking on your energy. Okay, let's pick these up. And, you know, we used the crystal vision on your last reading, so let's bring that back. And let's give it the full table. I'm going to give it a couple shuffles. You know, I know some of you wear headphones, and I try to shuffle quietly. But I have to tell you, I feel like shuffling to me is so meditative. Like, I love the sound of it. I even love the sound of it hitting the table. The cards hitting the table, though now I try to make it quiet. Because enough of you have complained. Alright. I feel like what we're doing here is we're moving forward. So let's see. Well, hello, my guardian angel. One of the most beautiful nights in the tarot. This is a slow-moving night. This night teaches you patience. You know, it's kind of like why that Chariot was in reverse. I can count on this night, though. But it comes in the right time. I already know what it's saying. You know, me coming in or your guardian angel bringing in, well, what's it bringing you? It's bringing you in an ace. It's bringing the Ace of Pentacles to you. And it's so that you can really expand your life. Expand your wisdom, expand your business, whatever you want to do with it. But the knight knows that if I bring it before, well, maybe someone would just steal it. I'm not going to let that happen. So I come at the right time. I just love that that is the first card. Look at that. The Hangman again in the awakened state. Again. It's like a reward. It's like this knight is saying, this ace I'm bringing you, it's a reward. Why? Because of all the hard work that you've done on yourself, in your life. Because you are no longer willing to allow others to control you in a negative way. Doesn't mean that I never want to listen to anyone. I want to close my mind. No. Because I have a feeling you're on your way to meeting many soulmates. And when I say many soulmates, I mean, I feel like we're all soulmates, to be honest. You know, the people who will help build you up, not put you down. God, the Hangman, again, in the awakened state. Knight of Wands, in reverse. I feel like it's just saying, slow down, you move too fast. Don't you want the night to last? High Priestess, your intuition, your GPS for this lifetime. You know, if you took a wrong turn, you know, you're on the highway and you take the wrong exit, what does your GPS do? It recalculates. Oh, wrong turn. But that's okay. We're going to recalculate. We're going to find you another route. That's what your intuition does. You know, and then with the Hangman in the awakened state, wow, Taurus, I feel like, wow. I feel like something's moving towards you and it's not meant to move fast. Why? Maybe you're meant to enjoy each and every moment of it. The Ten of Wands under the Knight of Pentacles. Let me tell you what that means. I already feel it. I feel it so clearly. It's talking about the last spread. Ten of Wands is like where I feel like I don't know if I can take any more. I don't know if I can take another moment of this. I feel like the person in the Ten of Wands secretly is wishing for a tower. Change. Like, force me to change, Spirit. Okay. We're going to throw you a tower. And I often feel those towers down the road, I become thankful for them. Not always, but most of the time. The majority of the time, actually. You know, it's like my guides are like, no, Sandy, you were right. So Ten of Wands just speaks about a period of time where, you know, it's like all the responsibilities are on your shoulders. If it relates to a relationship, that's what it's talking about. Like, you know, you were the giver and giver and giver, unless it's the other way around. You know, it can always be the other way around. But this night, you know, I feel like is helping to end that chapter. The Magician with the awakened Hangman. Holy crap. Taurus, I feel like if we go back, because we know that the Knight of Pentacles is going to complete his mission, because he already showed us the ace. So we go back, we take that ace, along with the Magician's energy, which means I can create anything. I am the Magician. I am the manifester. And then you add the Hangman in the awakened state with your intuition. Wow. Powerful. Interesting also, you have the 10 and now we have a 1. So this night is helping to end that chapter. Listen, it's because of you also. Don't get me wrong, and it's mainly because of you. But it's like when that ends, then the 1 begins. And I feel like that's why that night is in reverse, the Knight of Wands. Like, you know, it's not that it doesn't bring passion and all that and desire and all that. It does. But I feel like it's talking about step by step, enjoying each and every moment. There must be a reason. Look at this, the Fool. Wow. Okay, let's talk about the Fool. The Fool is someone who takes a leap of faith. You know, they've come to trust their faith. They come to trust themselves. This is someone who is willing to give themselves a new beginning. And by the way, the Fool and the Magician side by side. And by the way, the Fool is the very first card in the tarot, right? And it talks about the path of the Fool. And there are different paths, right? There's different paths that open up at different times in your life. But the greatest teachers to the Fool are the Magician and the High Priestess. Now, don't get me wrong. They're all great teachers or mentors, however you want to say it. But the Magician teaches the Fool that when you start this new path, and it does want you to take a leap of faith, you possess all the tools that you need to be successful. Why? How? Well, because number one, you're a spiritual being. But number two, it's the lessons that you have learned from this lifetime. And the Fool does not carry the baggage of the past. The Fool puts that 10 of Wands behind them. I want a new life. I want my life to look different, to be different. And then the next person the Fool meets is the High Priestess. And the High Priestess teaches the Fool that I am your GPS in this lifetime. Trust me. I will send you instincts. I will send you signs. It is your higher self. And I often feel like there's nothing that we're going through that our spirit hasn't already been through. So trusting within your inner self. What beautiful, beautiful energy. Okay. Not ready to end it just yet. Page of Cups. Wow. I feel like that's you learning to love you again. This is about the inner child. And this may be calling for the inner child in you to come out and play. Especially sitting right next to the Fool. This is allowing yourself to have experiences. It is healing of the heart and emotional situations. Ace of Swords. Some type of communication. Truth. Justice. And then the Queen of Swords. Can be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But let me tell you what I feel like this Queen is talking about. Because I feel like it's, for some of you, it can certainly be an air sign. But I feel like this is you, no matter the sign. Because this is a queen that says to anything, or at least to herself, listen, if someone doesn't come to me in truth, I am not interested. If you are not of integrity, keep on walking. There's no room for you here. I feel like you've come such a far way. Again, I felt for months that you had like this dark cloud hanging over you. But I feel it lifting. Like each month I feel it lifting more and more and more. This is life-changing. If you choose it. So, I love the Queen of Swords right now, right here. Especially with the Ace of Swords here. Because again, she's going to demand that anyone comes into her life that they be of integrity. They're in their authentic skin. Like, I don't want to have to wear a mask. Love me the way I am, or don't love me at all. Doesn't have to be love. It's whoever. You know what I mean? Whoever. Next to Justice. Again, card of Libra. Look at that. 3 swords right there, but these are good swords. Well, I guess it depends how you look at Justice. But I always feel like when Justice comes in the upright, it's coming in your favor. Not only is it coming in your favor, but it's making you whole again, right? So it's taking those broken pieces and it's mending them. It's bringing them back together. But it's working. It's like Spirit's working hand in hand with you. The Queen, like I said earlier, once you learn a lesson, you can't unlearn it. So it's definitely, and I also feel like if this is talking about anyone new is coming into your life, Another reason why I want to take it slow, because people will reveal themselves to you. Sometimes we don't give them time, right? Because we try to move too quickly. So it's like your guides are like, well, we're just going to slow it down a little. But don't fear that. All right. Let's see. We're just going to try to get one more card, but whatever wants to come out, we're going to take. 9 of Wands. Again, the final reflection. You know, the 9 of Wands, the person in this energy, ultimately, if they're willing to, again, reflect back, right, that final reflection, so I can close the door. Your spiritual team is here helping you also to close that door. But this is someone who truly becomes, you know, or not becomes, you already are, but you recognize that spirit warrior within yourself. You know, this person, in a lot of tarot decks, you'll see like their clothes are somewhat tattered and torn, but that's because their muscles have grown. It's like they have outgrown their old wardrobe. This is also the realization of my part, right? Because if I don't know myself, if I don't know how I ended up in certain situations, well, then I take a chance of ending up in one again. So this is real clarity over your past. No judgment. Right? Don't judge yourself. Don't be like, oh, I was so stupid. No, you weren't. Maybe you were just meant to have that experience. Maybe you were just meant to see how strong you really are. And that's what's happening. So, interesting that the Knight of Pentacles comes in at the right time, is now mirrored not only by the High Priestess, not only by the Ace of Swords, but now the Nine of Wands. So, your action is 9/10 of the law here, so to speak. Okay, I know this is long. But I feel like I just want to look at, I don't even know what I'm going to look at. I just want to go right across the middle of the spread. And then I'm going to let you be. 9 of Pentacles, beautiful. You know, it's interesting because someone just left a comment saying that they were stuck in a relationship because they didn't have their own money. And I know that energy, you know, that used to be me. And now, you know, I'm also an earth sign. And us earth signs, we don't like to depend on someone else for our money, right? Like, it being independent is so important. And it doesn't mean like being single. It just means I can take care of me. This talks about successful self-employment, by the way. So for some of you, that may be confirmation. You know, let's not forget we had the Ace. And maybe it is just the beginning. But it's the beginning of everything. Wow, that's what I titled your last reading. Success, independence, knowledge, wisdom, all of that. Eight of Cups. And then look at this, the 10 of Cups. Wow, this is the House of Harmony. Some of you may be working from home, or maybe that's what you're going to be doing. And I have a feeling if that's the case, you're going to love it. Doesn't mean it won't be hard work. Doesn't mean you don't have to put in the effort. But putting in the effort, I feel like the person in the 9 of Pentacles is the sole benefactor of the hard work I put into it. But it just means that you also love it. And the 8 of Cups coming in between that. Listen, I feel like many of you have spiritual type businesses, and many of you do speak in your businesses about how you've overcome certain things. With the 8 of Cups is looking at that emotional house, you know, finding clarity within that emotional house, but she's leaving it. She's leaving it. I found it. At least I found enough. You know, you don't have to look at every cup that's been knocked over, because in the realm of things, some of those cups just aren't going to matter in the future. And I feel like, what a different life. 10 of Wands to the 10 of Cups. Some of you just found yourself with the wrong person. And now you're on a path to finding the right person. Or another way of putting that is someone whose vibration is much more like yours. This is a house of love, house of harmony. And by the way, the person in the 8 of Cups, where are they heading to? They're heading to the 9 of Cups. That speaks about inner harmony. Maybe not everybody's there yet, but I feel like you're on your way. Inner harmony. And when you have that inner harmony and that independent nature, wow, living in the 10 of Cups is glorious. It's like a 180. It's the right person. It's the right situation. The 10 of Cups never promises that everything's going to be a rose garden. But the people in this home work together, right? Nobody here puts anyone else down for their benefit. Quite the opposite. We pick each other up. We pick each other up. Wow. I'm so glad I did the second spread, because I feel like the first spread's talking about where you were, and this is talking about your present, moving forward. The Knight of Pentacles opening up, saying, and again, it's your guardian angel, at least that's the way I read it, but I come in the right time, and that you can trust. And what feels like the right time? The Hangman in the awakened state. That means I'm not going to lie to myself, right? I feel like it reminds me of, I can never think of his name when I want to think of his name, but, starts with an E. It's so funny, when I can't remember things, I can always remember like the first letter. But anyways, it's like someone who's let their ego go down. Like, I don't need my ego. Now, ego protects you, right? But I mean it in a way where, I don't know. I think you know what I mean. Alright, I think I should leave it there. I just want to look at the bottom of the deck. 4 of Cups. Look at that. It's almost like it puts the ball right back in your court. So don't forget, 4 of Cups, this person is being handed a cup. This person is discontent in their current life or where you were. Some of you have already moved out of that, and you may find yourself already in this type of energy. And I feel like it's like it's saying to you, even if you're in like the 10 of Wands, which can be a very difficult energy, doesn't mean that there's not a 10 of Cups out there. But it may not exist where I'm at. Now, having said that, let's read marriage. Wow, almost right to it. You drew this card because your relationship needs loving attention. You've been out of balance lately, with too much focus upon work and intellectual pursuits. Mother Mary steps in and asks you to stop what you're doing and put your energy into your marriage. By the way, it's reminding me of another comment where someone said that their husband used to be such a loving and fun-going guy, and now is at a certain job and he has to drive 4 hours, or I don't know, the commute is like 4 hours. I don't know if that means 2 hours one way and 2 the other. But now she says he's like miserable. You know what I mean? And it's just bringing that up. I don't know why, but it's making me think of that. Anyways, stop what you're doing and put your energy into your marriage. In fact, make a renewed commitment to it and all of your interpersonal relationships. Allow yourself to care about and connect with each person you love. For unmarried individuals, this card signals a positive and important change in your love life, provided that you open your heart and allow yourself to be authentic and vulnerable with others. Commit to developing your relationships at the highest possible levels so that they are truly love-filled. Amen. Amen. Now, I just want to say real quick, I feel like, not that I disagree with Mother Mary, but I feel like for those who may be in a type of marriage or commitment where it just is hell, and that person is not going to make any change, I do feel like you have the right to free yourself, but that has to be up to you. And listen, the Seven of Pentacles came out as your bottom card. It could talk about how, Sandy, how? Maybe I put a plan in place. Maybe, it reminds me of when I was married, my ex was an alcoholic, and he was just out. He was at the bar all the time, and he was cheating all the time. It was just I remember saying to him, I don't even know why you married me. You were not ready for marriage. Why did you even marry me? I didn't beg him to marry me. You know what I mean? But what I used to do, and I know some may think this is wrong, but he'd come home drunk, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to start, I'd get in his pocket and I'd take a 20 out. And I would do that every time he came home. And I used to hide it in the vacuum cleaner bag because I knew I was the only one who ever vacuumed. And I ended up, literally, it's how I ended up getting an apartment for myself. So, and I felt like he owed it to me. So I know it wasn't the right way, but it worked. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to let that be. I love you guys so much. I thank you for your donations. I'll put them in my vacuum bag. No, I won't. Actually, I use your donations, lately just to help live, because YouTube's money is just nothing. So I really could not be on here without you. So much gratitude for you. I know it's you who keeps me on here. I thank you for sharing these videos. You never know who you're going to help. I do, because I get the messages. People do reach out and tell me that, it was a lifesaver. Not always. And sometimes a reading may not make sense to you. Sometimes it may not be for you. So take what resonates and leave the rest. But sometimes when you're in a hard type energy, it's oh yeah, this is a bunch of wishful thinking. But you got to realize it's showing you how to free yourself. But then you have to do that. I feel like in Taurus, sometimes people go right to that Ten of Cups. Oh, she's promising the Ten of Cups. But look through how we got here. How did we get here? That's how you have real growth. And that's really how Taurus should be used. Don't ignore the lessons. Don't ignore the truths, right? The hangman in the awakened state twice. That's quite beautiful. Anyways, I'm going off on a rampage. So much gratitude for you guys. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subbing. Welcome to anyone who's new. Welcome to the family. I feel like we're one big soul family. And I feel like if you're new, you'll start to realize that. Thank you for your comments and helping other people who are going through difficult situations that you yourself have gone through. Your comfort and even your knowledge can be tremendous. So thank you for that. Just thank you. I love you guys. I'll see you. I'm wondering, I wonder how long this reading is. They've all been over an hour. It's interesting because I have an Instagram channel, but I can't share any of my videos on it because they're all too long. But that's okay. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye-bye.